Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be talking about a milestone that I'm coming up on. It's kind of a big deal to me, and it's also kind of embarrassing and not something you can really brag about, but this is my channel and I'm going to celebrate whatever I want to celebrate. So, in 6 days from now, which is next Sunday, I will officially be 6 months clean from any kind of self-injury. And the reason why I call it self-injury is because I've learned that there's a lot of different forms of harming ourselves, and it's not always something that that physically leaves a mark, and sometimes it does. And for me, I've always struggled with a variety of different ways that I've self-injured. When I'm feeling overwhelmed, or I'm feeling threatened, or I'm just losing my ever-loving mind, which is more so how it occurs. So before that, I had almost maybe 6 or 7 months from self-injury, and then I had a relapse with it. It was horrible, it was embarrassing, it was shameful, and it was really, really scary. And not only did it scare me, but it scared someone that I care about very much too. And if you have a history with self-injury, I'm sure you've had a moment where someone you care about, or maybe just someone around you in general, was terrified, confused, hurt, mortified, scared of you for the actions that you took to self-regulate. And something like that can really just pull you out of that mindset of just not giving a fuck about yourself or anything. And for me, it's always really humbled me when my actions are not hidden. Very often with self-injury, they're very shameful, secret acts. But sometimes you have those days, or you have those moments where it's just very fast and it's violent and it's not secret and it's not subtle. And those are the ones that, for me personally, really made me stop and think about what the fuck I was doing to myself. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to cuss. It's moments like that that really made me stop and think, like, I'm doing something that's horrible. And I'm doing something that I can't continue with. This is not a habit that you just have in the background of your life. Self-injury is not something you just carry with you casually. It will get worse, and it will push away everyone you care about until there's just you, and then it will continue to take from you, and it will use secrecy against you. And it will harbor itself in your shame. And it will make it so that you will not want to reach out, and you will not want to talk about this with anybody. From my experience, talking about self-injury has been very, very embarrassing. I wish I could say that when you do talk to a professional about it, that they understand, but there's a lot of times where they don't understand. And you would think that, like, a licensed therapist or a psychiatrist would understand this, but they don't. A lot of the times they're not gonna. And I'm not trying to deter you from seeking help, because you should, but it takes a very educated person to be able to deal with this, to be able to help you and understand you, and to be able to guide you through it. And if you are confiding in someone who doesn't understand what it's like to be in a mindset where self-injury feels soothing, you're not going to get a lot of help from them. So I'm not trying to give advice, but I encourage you to not waste time with a therapist or a psychiatrist who doesn't understand that there's a lot of underlying emotions and causation behind why someone would go against their natural instincts and harm themselves, which does go against all of our natural instincts. If you're someone who has experienced trauma or a violent upbringing, it's very common to experience this. And for me personally, it was always a specific kind of self-injury. I don't really want to give details, but it has branched out a lot. And, you know, for me, it's gotten better in a way where I'm not leaving scars on myself, but leaving bruises on yourself isn't any better. Leaving welts or burns on yourself is not better than leaving a scar. You know what I'm saying? None of that's any better. It's not a competition. I'd like to say that maybe I'm moving in the right direction, because the last time that I did put a scar on my body was, I want to say, almost a year ago. But the type of self-injury I'm talking about is more so bruises and welts. So I am coming up on 6 months clean from that. It's a bittersweet feeling. I mean, I'm proud, obviously, you know, like, yay, there's a stretch of time that existed where I didn't do this to myself. But I'm 31. I'm going to be 32 this year. And my self-injury addiction, and I'm going to call it what it is, it's an addiction, began when I was like 13. And, you know, the people in high school that I knew who did this too, from what I know, from what I understand, and I could be wrong, they all outgrew it. Everyone I know who struggled in this way has outgrown it. And my whole 20s, I just wondered, well, when am I going to outgrow it? Why hasn't this happened yet? And I didn't start to really take action against fighting that voice until I had someone to quit for. I couldn't quit for myself. It was self-soothing. It was immediate. It didn't make sense to anyone but me, but it didn't really have to, because it was meeting a need. And my need was that I needed to calm down. And that could be in so many different instances, but the basics of it is that I needed to be able to calm down. And that was the only way I knew how to do it. I didn't know how to talk to myself. I didn't know how to go from having a crisis moment to being baseline again. I didn't know how to do that. And I think a lot of that is why I became an addict in other senses, you know, because I couldn't find my baseline. I didn't know what my baseline was. I didn't know what it felt like. I didn't know how to get there. And you just want it to go away. You want to feel better. And so that was how I self-soothed for a long time. And I mean, almost 20 years of that is crazy. Like, that's, like, to hear myself say 18 years of doing this is crazy. Like, not saying that makes you crazy. It's just like, it's horrendous when you think about what that takes from you. And so I've just been really thinking about that a lot lately. I don't know if I want to like celebrate on my 6 months clean, because it's not really like something you can go to Safeway and they put it on a cake, you know? Like, can you write this down on the cake for me? I mean, I guess you could. Fuck it, you could. Sorry. But that's not really the type of celebration that it is. It doesn't feel like get a cake and have a party kind of celebration. It's very internal. I don't know if I'm going to really say anything to anybody about it. I don't really find the need to, but talking about it in this way is nice. It's nice. But, you know, maybe in a future video I could talk about some of the things that really helped pull me out of that and how I navigated through that. But I will warn you that a lot of it was based on fear of losing the people around me, an intense fear of losing them. And it also was, I mean, I don't know, I was in therapy at the time, and I had a very good therapist who I was confiding these things in. I was first getting sober. I was in a very transformative period in my life, and I really had to either make it or break it. Like, I had no choice. I had to make this work in the circumstances that I was in, or I was going to lose a lot. I was going to lose the place that I was living if I continued to have these bad habits. And I've spent some time inpatient for these issues, and I have been hospitalized for these things, which is scary. And I can talk about that, in a future video too. And I would like to touch on this subject because I think that self-injury is something that's very tiptoed around. I feel like there's a lot of shame involved. So much shame and embarrassment. And And if you've ever been in a situation where you're looking for professional help and they don't get it, that's very isolating. And it perpetuates that need to punish yourself because you're not normal, is what that tells you. You're not normal and you can't be helped. And that's far from the truth. And it makes me sad that some days I still feel like I can't be fixed, you know, like the damage is so deep and it's been like that for so long that there is no other path for me. But I'm trying very hard to not believe that, because that's not a good way to live. But I just wanted to get on here and kind of talk about that a little bit. You know, I am proud of myself, but again, it's like, have I maintained this because I'm changing for the better, or have I maintained this because I'm scared of losing everybody again? And sometimes I think it's fear, but I don't know. Sometimes motivating factors can be positive and they can be, you know, scary. And I don't really know if that's healthy or not. I'm not a licensed therapist. I don't really know, but I just think it's important to talk about it and not to glorify it. That's crazy. The internet is insane. I see so much glorification around self-injury. It's really shocking and disturbing. And I just can't imagine being a child or a teenager in this day and age. I can't imagine it. And my heart goes out to the younger folks who are struggling with this, because it is normalized, and it's not normalized in a way that's helpful. It's normalized in a way that instigates worse behavior and rewards it. And that's sad to me. I feel bad for people who are feeling like they have to get worse in order to get help, and that's very much so a symptom of mental illness. And I don't know, I want to be open about this without being triggering. And again, if you're coming to my channel and you're looking for triggering content, you're not going to find it here. I'm not going to talk about that stuff, and I'm not going to show anything that could upset somebody. And if I do say something that's upsetting, I would like to be called out on it, and I apologize if, you know, that occurs. I'm not trying to make it a competition or anything weird like that. It's actually extremely embarrassing for me, but if you live your life in secrets, then no one's ever going to know you. You're not even going to know yourself enough to explain to anybody who you are. Do you want to live like that forever? Like, I'm not the most sociable person, but I don't want to be fucking isolated from everyone in a meaningful way for the rest of my life. That's not cool. So, I don't know. I just think I'm going to be touching on this subject a little more. And I just wanted to get that off my chest. So, yay, 6 months coming up. Can't believe I did it. Happy I did it. The journey's never really over. So, I'm just wishing everyone a really great week. And there's a lot of storms and weird weather going on in the United States. So, I'm just hoping everyone's staying warm and they're staying safe. And just please give yourself grace this week and really just try to slow down and breathe. And if you feel yourself getting agitated and you feel yourself just wanting to take it out on anything and anyone, I really, really, really hope that you will do something kind for yourself and ask yourself, what does this part of me need to feel heard? And listen to it and just try your best to be safe and know that you're so loved and you're so cared about and you're here for a reason. Your whole life has a very deep purpose that you may not have even discovered yet, and that's kind of exciting. So anyway, I'll end the video here. I am going to drink my vitamin C water, or whatever this is called, because I'm not feeling very well. I hope you guys have a good one. Bye.